بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
Surah Al-Ghashiyah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هل أتاك حديث الغاشية? Has there reached you the report of the overwhelming event?
Al-Ghashiyah is one of the names of Yawm Al-Qiyamah. The thing that it covers everything, it overcomes everything, it overwhelms everything.
وجوه يومئذ خاشعة. Some faces that day will be humbled.
Now,
عاملة ناصبة. Working hard and exhausted.
this is here. Does it mean working hard and exhausted? When? Working hard and exhausted. It said عاملة ناصبة means in this world they were working hard, but it didn't count for anything. It didn't count for anything Yawm Al-Qiyamah. And there's a view that working hard and exhausted is the description of them Yawm Al-Qiyamah. They're running around trying to find a way out of the problem, but there is no way out for them. As-Sa'di rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, Surah Al-Ghashiyah is obviously Makkiyah. And he said, they're exhausted from the punishment that is being put upon their faces and the fire that covers for them, from them. Or it said that in the dunya, they are exhausted from all of that efforts that they made. But it didn't benefit them anything. He said, وَهَذَا الْإِحْتِمَالِ وإن كان صحيحا من حيث المعنى فلا يدل عليه سياق الكلام بل الصواب المقطوع به هو الاحتمال الأول. He says this view that they were working hard in the dunya, even though it's correct as a meaning, it's not the meaning of the ayah, because the ayah clearly is talking about Yawm Al-Qiyamah. So it's very important here. Sa'di says something. He says the ayah could mean they were exhausted in the hereafter or exhausted in the dunya, right? It could be both, it could be any. But if you look at the context of the speech, it has to be the akhirah, it can't be the dunya. So they are totally overburdened and exhausted in the akhirah, even though they were also exhausted in the dunya, but the ayah is referring to the akhirah here.
تصلى نارا حامية. They will enter to burn in an intensely hot fire.
No.
تسقى من عين آنية. They'll be given drink from a boiling spring. ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع. For them there will be no food except from a poisonous thorny plant.
No.
لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع, which neither nourishes nor avails against hunger.
There's nothing beneficial in it. It doesn't yusmin, and it doesn't make you put weight on. ولا يغني من جوع, and it doesn't make you feel less hungry. It just is a punishment for them. Their food is just a punishment for them.
وجوه يومئذ ناعمة. Other faces that day will show pleasure. لسعيها راضية. With their effort they are satisfied.
And there's a mistake people make when reading this ayah. They lengthen the ya and they read it لسعيها, but it's not لسعيها here. لسعيها. And a lot of people read this wrong, and it's from the ayat that I regularly hear people reading wrong, because they lengthen the ya and they read it لسعيها, but it should be لسعيها. Read it one more time for me, Abdurrahman.
لسعيها راضية.
Still شوي. One more time.
لسعيها راضية.
Better. لسعيها راضية. They are satisfied with the efforts they made. Where did they make their efforts? Where was their sa'i? In the dunya. They made the efforts praying and fasting and reading the Quran, and they made their efforts in those things in this world, and so that when they see them Yawm Al-Qiyamah, they'll be pleased with the efforts they made.
في جنة عالية, in an elevated garden.
I think it's better here to say paradise, wallahi. In an elevated paradise would be better. Yani Jannah means a garden and Jannah means paradise. But sometimes in the Quran, it's more obvious that it's been spoken about as a garden and sometimes been spoken about generally as a paradise. Yani. Wallahu a'lam.
لا تسمع فيها لاغية, wherein they will hear no unsuitable speech.
No insults, no swearing, no bad language, no foolish talk, no evil words, no rude words. They will hear no bad speech, no laghiyah, no laghu.
فيها عين جارية, within it is a flowing spring.
Now, I want to see this. Does it not ayn is not ism jins here? Let's see. What does the Sa'di say about it? Ism jins. That's what I said. It's ism jins clearly. For all three of the translations translated it wrong. Within it are flowing springs with a S. It's واضح, it's ism jins here. Because it doesn't make sense to say aynun jariyah, there's one single spring in Jannah. The Jannah has many springs, yani. It's a mistake in the translation. Maybe there's a view like that. It's speaking about a specific spring. Could be. But generally it seems that this is one of the things I think personally in translation, one of the most common mistakes that all of these translations have is not translating ism jins properly. Ism jins is a generic noun, meaning ism, meaning all of Allah's names. Bismillah, all of Allah's names. Ayn, all of the springs. But sometimes they don't catch it. Yani fiha aynun jariyah, any ism jins, any all of the springs of Jannah that are flowing.
فيها سرر مرفوعة, within it are couches raised high.
نعم.
وأكواب موضوعة, and cups put in place.
نعم.
وَنَمَارِقُ مَصْفُوفَةً, and cushions lined up.
Any cups put in place, you will not have to go and collect a cup to drink in Jannah. The cups are already scattered around the paradise, the river banks and the places where the people, it's already there for you. They're all placed, the cups are placed in the places where you want it. And a person will not have to make an effort to fill them. Yeah.
وَزَرَابِيُّ مَبْثُوثَةً, and carpets spread around.
Yeah.
أَفَلَا يَنظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ, then do they not look at the camels, how they are created?
And when you look at the camel, subhanAllah, the camel, there are so many signs in it. And Allah speaks to the people the Quran is addressing. The Quran in the beginning came down in the Arabian Peninsula. Everybody knows about the camels. And the Quran is for all the people in every place. But in the beginning, it came down to the Arabian Peninsula. So Allah speaks to them by what they know. Allah doesn't speak to them with something they don't know. Allah doesn't tell them about cars, and Allah doesn't tell them about planes, and Allah tells them about what they knew, what was known to them. أَفَلَا يَنظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ. Be careful, here's another mistake, which is ibil has a kasra on the ba. A lot of people read it ibl. And it's a mistake a lot of people make. Make sure there's a kasra on the ba. Ibili kayfa khuliqat. How the camel's created. The camel, ajib, it can go hundreds of miles across a barren desert without water. And a camel, people, and you don't see it these days, but people fought wars on camels. Camels very fast. They would raid villages, attack the villages upon camels. And maybe you can see in some places they attack people on camels. And very, very rare now, but you can find in some places. But subhanAllah, the camel and all that it has, the date palm and all that it has, if people thought about it, it will show you that this camel has to have a creator. This camel didn't come about like that, from nothing. And the camel, they benefit from its milk, they benefit from its meat, they benefit from its skin, they benefit from riding it. It carries burdens for them, and they reach far lands. Any lands you can never reach on a horse. Never ever you could reach a land like that on a horse. The horse will not survive even the first 50 miles or 100 miles you're going to travel. These people go hundreds and hundreds of miles by camel. And this camel has signs in it that show you that there is a creator that deserves to be worshipped. I'll read you what Sa'di said about it. Rahimahullah ta'ala. He said, ينظرون إلى خلقها البديع وكيف سخرها الله للعباد وذللها لمنافعهم الكثيرة الذي يضطرون إليها. He said, do they not look at how the amazing creation of the camel and how Allah has made it in the service of people and how Allah has submitted it to their benefit. And the camel is a strong animal, yet these camels are domesticated, yani they're under the control of people and the people ride them. And all of the needs the people have from it that they could only get from it.
وَإِلَى السَّمَاءِ كَيْفَ رُفِعَتْ, and at the sky, how it was raised.
نعم.
وَإِلَى الْجِبَالِ كَيْفَ نُصِبَتْ, and at the mountains, how they are erected.
نعم.
وَإِلَى الْأَرْضِ كَيْفَ سُطِحَتْ, and at the earth, how it is spread out.
Now, Sa'di mentions here a benefit. He says, وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ تسطيح الأرض لا ينافي أنها كرة مستديرة قد أحاطت الأفلاك فيها من جميع جوانبها كما دل على ذلك النقل والعقل والحس والمشاهدة كما هو مذكور معروف عند أكثر الناس خصوصا في هذه الأزمنة التي وقف الناس على أكثر أرجائها بما أعطاهم الله من الأسباب المقربة للبعيد. So فائدة والله, I think it's worth. Sa'di says the fact that the earth is laid out flat does not stop the earth being round. And that is a view among Ahl al-Ilm, that they said that the ayat which the Quran speaks about the flat earth does not mean that the shape of the earth overall from space is flat. صح? The ayah doesn't contradict the fact that the earth is round. It just says that for you, Allah spread the earth for you. And if, for example, it's not all mountains and you don't fall off the side and you don't have like a curve that you see with your eyes, but it doesn't change the fact. He said, particularly in this time, he said, what is transmitted to us and our intellect and what we see and what we sense is that the earth is round. And he said, this is ma'ruf, it's well known to most people, especially in this time where people have discovered all the different countries, or most of, he says, many of the different countries of the earth. Because it's true, we cannot say everything, but people have discovered many of the different parts of the earth because Allah gave them the ability to travel far in a short space of time, like aeroplanes and things like that. For there is nothing in the Quran, على هذا القول, on that view, that says that the earth is itself a flat shape. Rather, it says the earth is flat for you, which is واضح. And if you go outside, you have a flat earth, you can see all of the long distance, the fields and the land is all flat for you. For that doesn't contradict the fact that the earth is round. That is a view. Sahih, some of the ulama took the view that the Quran speaks about a flat earth in shape. But it's not the tafsir of the ayah doesn't necessarily indicate that. It just indicates that the earth is being spread out for you. And Allah Azza wa Jalla knows best.
فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ. So remind, O Muhammad, you are only a reminder.
And the job of the Prophet Muhammad is to remind the people, nothing more than that.
لَسْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمُصَيْطِرْ. You are not over them a controller.
And you're not there to compel them, to force them to believe. The Prophet Muhammad is not there to force people to believe. He's not there to come and say, I'm going to force you, you have to believe. No, it's your choice. If you want to believe, I'm here to show you Islam, explain to you, remind you, it's your choice.
إِلَّا مَنْ تَوَلَّى وَكَفَرْ. However, he who turns away and disbelieves.
Now, however is the correct translation here. Illa doesn't mean except. Here it means however. The one who turns away and disbelieves,
فَيُعَذِّبُهُ اللَّهُ الْعَذَابَ الْأَكْبَرِ, then Allah will punish him with the greatest punishment.
so here what is the free choice and what isn't the free choice? You have a choice whether you believe or you don't believe. It's your choice. You want to believe or not. But the consequences of your choice, you don't have a choice over it. And if you chose not to believe, فَيُعَذِّبُهُ اللَّهُ الْعَذَابَ الْأَكْبَرِ, Allah will punish him with the great any punishment.
إِنَّ إِلَيْنَا إِيَابَهُمْ, indeed to us is their return. ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا حِسَابَهُمْ, then indeed upon us is their account.
And that Allah will take responsibility to take everyone to account. Looking at the time, it's that time again usually where we take a little bit of a break, inshaAllah ta'ala. We reached Surah Al-Fajr. Looking at our progress so far, it looks like we probably will have to take a bit of time after Asr, I think. I'm not that convinced that we're going to get to the end without taking a little bit of time after Asr. But we can do that bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. It doesn't have to be a long time. It could just be like 45 minutes or an hour after Asr, inshallah. I think there is a class, a Q&A class, but I'm sure we can move the times around and figure something out, inshallah. So yes, the plan is, let's take a break now. Let's take like 20 minutes, inshallah ta'ala. And then after that, we'll come back. We'll do as much as we can. Probably Asr is going to come without us finishing. We might have about a quarter left of the juz by Asr time. After Asr, we'll finish the rest. So we don't go I do want to finish today, but we don't have to any panic over it, inshallah ta'ala. That's what Allah Azza wa Jal made easy for me to mention. Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala abdillahi wa rasulih, nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. So inshallah ta'ala we go on to Surah Al-Fajr.